Let me get some music on. What do we got in the background here? I feel like does it seem like we're crooked? Seem like we're crooked a little bit. Welcome in, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Let me get some music on. We're going to talk about some things. Happy Tuesday. Hey, West Design. Howdy, howdy. You excited about your meetup? I keep hearing that in multiple shows. The Oklahoma meetup, you guys. Mary Lack, welcome in. How you doing? Addie Strega, welcome in. Welcome in. And get some music going. Yeah, those are so exciting. Now, do you guys have that on the Meetup app by chance? Envy! No. Congratulations for discovering a new one, Envy. Congratulations. Faye West, are you guys using the Meetup Hub.app for that, or where are you directing folks to? Hats off, Envy. Appreciate the consistency. I do. I do. Close these out. And there's the music. There's the music. Dawn, how's it going? How's it going? Do we want some lo-fi loops? Let's try that one. Lo-fi loops. Let me know if it's too much. Let me know if it's too much, you guys. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. My schedule's off because I'm on leave this week from my regular job. I was going to do a whole bunch of D-Stash shows. I actually had them scheduled out. And then I said, you know what? Let me spend more time with my kids this week. And so I bumped them. So once a week, we're going to be auctioning D-Stash stuff, wood, and then a whole bunch of jewelry. Whole bunch of jewelry. My kid and I started organizing. This is all jewelry. I finally joined the Tons of Totes Club, but with the mission to empty them out ASAP. We're getting interest and put it on Meetup. Oh, okay, nice. Heck yeah. Okay, so let me write that down. Is this where I want to put notes? Got our little notepad here. So Meetup using the official. I suppose, I wonder, it maybe wouldn't hurt to put it on Meetup Hub. Also, I don't know if there's like, oh, I need to plug in. I don't know if there's any issues with folks like cross-listing meetups, if that's a thing or not, but I know a lot of people are starting to look at that. There we go. I almost forgot my battery was almost dead. Are we charging? There we go. Okay. Meetup.whatnot.com. Lauren, welcome in. And October, right? October, I think. Whatnot. And with Bay West. Heck yeah. So, how have you guys been doing? October 24th. Okay. October 24th. Good for you for doing those. I know nobody in Washington State is doing them yet. Curly Q, how you doing? Is it K attack or Katak? How's it going? Welcome in, you guys. What is the topic even today? We have a shout out. We have an update that I know some folks are talking about. I know Candy and De-Archivist Visuals and De-Archivist were talking about the shipping update this morning in their chat shows. We'll touch on that and then dive into, there were two blog posts since we were last here, one today and one from last Wednesday. And then what is the topic? Product lines. Product lines. That's the topic today. I feel like I'm crooked. Let me shake you a little bit. Or no. Okay, I guess that's good. Breadworks, welcome in. Welcome in. So otherwise, we're talking product lines. Those who are on the YouTube, already heard part of this because I think yesterday or the day before I had like a little blurb, but I'm trying to challenge myself to like dive into each one of these topics about live selling because it forces some of you guys know I get a little squirrely on the topics. It forces articulation of the things. And so I'm just kind of buzzing through 'em multiple times until it's like down and makes a whole lot of sense. So anyway, so it was in a video, but we're going to talk about it today. And it's just a chew. We're on the in the sales mode, I guess is what we'll call it, for Whatnot, getting these sales shows anchored in and stuff. So it's like finally made it to the front burner in my world anyway. And so sharing some thoughts and what the current shoes are, and so it's product lines right now. So because everybody can offer anything really, but just because we can doesn't mean we should. And some stuff is like, hello, hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And accessories, welcome in. Hi, Adrian. Welcome in. Gotta make sure I'm following the hand makers. And so yeah, so we're gonna talk about product lines and I'm curious if there's I would love feedback on this one if there is any, because I think we're gonna visit this topic again in the future and just try to incorporate all the things, the big picture things that anybody would ought to factor in when they're trying to figure out what to sell live. Because not everything translates well, products wise, translate well to live sales. Oh, I forgot we're on YouTube. Let me make sure we're on YouTube. But some stuff is like, wait, and it depends if we're arts and handmade or if we're resell. It's like our decision making is different and stuff. And so um, that's the old video. Let me pull us up on, make sure we're good to go on the YouTube, and then we can get on into it. Kimmer, welcome in. We are live. Okay. You guys, I'm kind of excited. We hit 100 followers on YouTube. We hit 100 followers. Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. We're YouTube famous. Not really, but it's the little things. It's the little things. Welcome in. Welcome in. Mullins. And we just surpassed the 90 video mark. It's 91 to be exact. And so today will be video number 92. So that's chipping right along. It's a challenge to learn YouTube and try to create some valuable content throughout the year is what's going on over there. It's with daily posts by daily posts. And so if anyone's interested in that, it's over there. Okay. Shall we start with let's start with the spotlight. Let's start with the spotlight. Welcome in, you guys. If anybody was here yesterday, we were just live for maybe 15 minutes, but we kicked off or rated into the Artisan Alley Paper Crafts showcase yesterday, and we had 10 sellers plus our host, who is the shout out, the main shout out, and then just all the sellers, which I think I put them in the show notes. Yeah. The spotlight is in the show notes. It is Hazy Ames, Paper and Crate, OG to the platform. I think she's actually been on here longer than me. Her hubby, I met her because her hubby is a metal worker, a blacksmith, and so I tapped into his, like, he was like live demoing blacksmith stuff, and then turns out she paper crafts too, and she was doing her own shows and stuff, and she, if anyone doesn't know her, I highly recommend getting to know her because she's the sweetest, and uh she's real crafty, and she knows everybody, and she knows the platform well, and she's just a real cool human being. She's just a real cool seller and a real cool human being. Welcoming you guys. And so she helped Lilac Bloom and I curate this lineup for the Paper Crafts Alley. And so her and the 10 sellers that joined us yesterday are the spotlight. So if anyone missed them, uh, I was trying to tell them after the train yesterday, if anyone missed it, the paper crafters are like no joke in their niche. They're like serious um about their art form, and it was a really cool showcase. Like some of the stuff that these creators were making, like you would never imagine it for paper crafts. But they and I was trying to tell them, I was like, you guys win as far as like community goes. And then I was thinking about it later. I was like, that's not even the right word. It's really that they, if anyone's not familiar with the paper craft community, I'll just tell you. I was thinking about after the train, and each niche has its own like standout something about it because each niche is really its own vibe. The paper crafters to me stand out for being like the most like um what even was the words that I used? They just show out for their craft. Like they don't deal with like basic stuff. They don't just put in a journal together. It's a it's like a battle of the journals type of a journal with like a million pockets and like all this ephemera mixed in and textures and like fabrics even, and like they sew things and there's like hidden stuff um and that was the way to describe them. It's almost like friendly competition where they don't do anything like half-assed. They just like really go, if they're doing it, they do it all the way. And they just come up with the most impressive, like super cool, one of a kind stuff. And so they're the spotlight because I that showcase was awesome. And what a bunch of cool sellers just in general, like the whole category is a whole vibe, and it was fantastic. And so I recommend if anyone's unfamiliar with them to get familiar with them. So they're all tagged in the show notes, and they're the shout out for that reason. And then what do we got here? Um, what time is it? Yeah, we're just gonna start in. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just get into it. So if anyone catch the email this morning or the chat shows that the shipping update um, part two came in, and we are keeping flat rate. Did everyone get that memo? Jay Best, welcome in. Lauren and River, welcome in. We're keeping flat rate. If anyone didn't get that memo, however, let me see if I can pull it up. It is Simply Smart Shopping. How you doing? TJ, I ordered a sticker maker this morning. I'm hoping it's a good one. It's like a full color, waterproof, die cut kind of a deal that comes with this app that is supposed to be easy to use. 30-day money back guarantee if it sucks, because some reviews were really bad. And I was like, I don't know. Um, but I think it's going to work for this plan for card altering. And so it's on its way. It's maybe going to be here tomorrow. And so we'll see, but you'll be the first to know like how that turns out. Trying to make lemonade, and I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be cool. And so never received the memos. Okay. Well, there was an update a little bit ago that flat rate was going away. Thank you for the share, Curly Q. Update a little bit ago that flat rate was going away, and I forgot. I'm sorry, YouTube. I forget to look at the chat. I'm so sorry. Welcome in. Oh my gosh, all you guys, welcome in. Hi, hello. I totally forgot to. I'm not used to reading two chats. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the shares, you guys. I don't even know what language some of this is in. I appreciate you being here, though. I never know who's going to pop up in YouTube, but I appreciate it. Thank you for the shares, you guys. So the update. Let me see if I can just um, last month or a couple little very recent past. Whatnot said flat rates going away completely. The default is going to ground shipping for everybody with a reduced 20% of the cost. And so essentially, everything up to 5 pounds was going to be 20% less. And then everybody's shipping settings would automatically adjust to the after roundabout August 1st, ground would be the default. And so Priority was going to be the most expensive option, and it was supposed to be just them too. Thank you for the shares. And I'm assuming there was some backlash because this morning they said, well, okay, we're going to keep flat rate. We're going to keep it. I'm looking for the email. They said, we're going to keep it, but it's going to be more expensive. That's the kicker. It's going to be more expensive. So right now the flat rate is up to £5 and then again up to £70, which I don't know why there's even two different things. It's 921. Come November 1st, I want to say, which I'm going to double check right now. I want to say it's November 1st. That is shifting to like $12 and some change. Um, Thank you guys for all the shares. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can pull up this email. Uh, it had to have been, yeah, it was an email. It was an email. I should have done this beforehand. I actually thought I pulled it back to my regular inbox, but lower USPS. Okay, right here. Lower USPS shipping rates are coming July 31st. And so they bumped it up a day. They bumped it up a day to implement this ground shipping default, which is like up to £5. It's like $7 and some change. So it's a good thing. Everything over £5 though, sellers are going to have to adjust if they're like high volume, sell a lot of, ship a lot of packages over £5. But let's see. So Ground Advantage 1 to £5, 7.75, starting July 31st. And then here's that's why I put it in a screenshot. I'll read this blurb right here. For this is the shipping update, okay? I appreciate the shares, you guys. They say, and if anybody wants the actual email, it's probably in your spam folder, but if you DM me your email address, I can forward it to you. So they say, because we know many sellers rely on flat rate shipping, we're keeping it while we build better long-term shipping options to help keep the costs down. We Whatnot are covering most of the price increase. So like USPS has been increasing the prices. Hey, one of the friends, heck yeah. Official. You guys, we got rewards going now, finally. And so welcome to the Friends Club. To help keep costs down, we're covering most of the price increase. Through November 1st, we're offering temporary flat rate pricing at $12.99 per package, so $13 per package, instead of the standard commercial rate of more than $30 for a large flat rate box. And so it's significant difference. It's a significant difference for those of us who use flat rate, to the extent that I suspect even those advocating for wanting flat rate, really what they're wanting is that 921. And so the price increase is probably going to push them over to ground shipping anyway. But I digress. It says, you may continue to use USPS flat rate boxes when paired with flat rate labels. We're continuing to explore new shipping options, including additional carriers with more competitive pricing. And so this is something that's been in the talks for some time. They're revisiting this. Tammy, welcome in. How you doing? And we'll share another update at least 1 month before November 1st. And so we're going to keep flat rate, but it's going to be like $13. The flat rate is going to be $13 per package, and Whatnot's going to cover the difference of that and the $30 commercial rate temporarily, is how this reads to me. Let's see, and there's another, what does it say? USPS flat rate, creating my box envelope. Oh yeah, that's just saying the packages have to match. And so July 31st, ground is the default. Who is that? Buggy Jen. Buggy Jen, thank you for the raid. Let me put you in the box. Where'd you go? Here we go. How was your show? I don't know if I've got a Boogie Gen raid before. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming here and let's run a giveaway. You guys, let's run a giveaway. That's awesome. If anyone's not familiar with Boogie Gen, I'm a fan because they just are in that arts and handmade space. Let me see. We're gonna do giftable card, and usually there's something in there, but let's do a giveaway. Hop in here. Let's hope it doesn't take the full quantity giveaway, Ren. And this is courtesy of Boogie Gen. So thank you for the raid. Yeah, what do you have coming up? You were crafting. Heck yeah. Joy Creations, welcome in. Let's actually, it's been a while since I looked at your profile. It's a cute dog. Graffiti art, acrylic, customs by Token One TM, also a mandatory follow. Hogan, the bulldog. English Bulldog is the superstar of the show. 5 stars under a day, 1.2K sold. That's what's up. And let's just have a look see. Weekend spray painting live with Token One this weekend. That's what's up. Got some raid trains. Great coconut creation tour. Just bookmark a couple of these. You got some fun shows, actually. Look at your lineup. Crafting for the coconut creation raid train. That sounds super fun. Also, is TLC Mama Bear in that with her like coconut? How she does her what you call it on the coconuts? Here, since this isn't one of the things, if you guys haven't seen the spray paint, look at that. Look at that. How freaking cool. Let me bookmark all them shows. So thank you for the raid. Those coming in with Boogie Gen and those who I haven't introduced myself to yet. Lost Mermaid, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. My name is Tamika Crow of Custom Wood Burnin'. I do heat gun art on wood stuff, and we're here every Tuesday talking about live selling. The topic for today is product lines. It's a work in progress topic that I just sometimes I bring topics that we've covered a couple times. Sometimes it's something that I'm just starting to really chew on, and so we're just going to kind of discuss. And that's what the topic is today. Like kind of like how do we pin down what we should be selling in this environment? Just some things to consider. No Bible, no expert here, but just like some stuff that if it resonates, cool, and if not, that's cool too. So we're talking product lines today. Usually we start with like a shout out. I typically have a quote that has something to do with the topic. And then if there's any whatnot updates, which is what we were just going over, we'll share those too. And so we're just talking about the flat rate shipping going away. That's been updated. And so it's coming. We get to keep it. We get to keep flat rate, but it's going to be like 13 bucks, up to 5 pounds. In the meantime, they're still like working on rate agreements and this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be pricey, but ground shipping is going to be 20% less. And so, and the default. And so it overall, it's probably a win, but anyone who like relies on flat rate and does Tober 2, welcome in. Oh, the candy box sellers. Yes, there's a few categories that are like, oh, they're going to be hit. But, if there's a little bit of time to dabble with like profiles, I suppose, and like figuring out, I'm sure people are creative. They'll figure out some hacks and things to, but if people are really getting like massive amount of items in one single box because they're small and heavy, it could just be like an extra 50 cents per thing or something. And it could kind of like, 15 bucks or something, 13, 15 bucks to ship a whole bunch of stuff is like kind of worth it. So I think we'll be okay. Um, yeah, I was thinking about the coin sellers and the card sellers and certain ones. Is that a thing, Tober? Wow. Let me give you a hat. I feel like Tober, because you dish out hats, I feel like you're a mandatory hat. It's like, what am I doing if I ain't giving you a hat? You know what I mean? Kimmy D, what's going on? Let's do a couple of hats, you guys. Thanks for hopping in here. So that's kind of the deal. So shipping was the first update. They did have two blog posts out this last week since we were here last. I don't want to really dive into them if I'm being honest. Yeah, $30 for a large flat rate box is real. And we forget, like we're spoiled over here on Whatnot, if anyone didn't realize that. And Whatnot has just been covering the difference with our shipping discounts. Um, Shipping is way more than $9. And so we just are spoiled. And it's gonna have to math out eventually for Whatnot. And so that means it's falling on us and it's falling on our buyers. And it does behoove us to just kind of roll with it. And Euphoria Emporium, congratulations on winning the Gibby, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And so you got a giftable card coming your way. Giftable card. Uh, Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. Shoot, there's some stuff with my partner. I'm like, dude, don't mail that through the post office. Let's just put it in one of the shops, and we'll just ship it like through Whatnot because it's a better deal, right? Anyway, can't forget when you walk into USPS on the daily and it's staring. What? Wait, what? Can't forget when you walk into USPS on the daily and it's staring at you and oh, the prices. Yeah, yeah, yes. Only one behoove so far. Only one behoove. There will be more, I'm sure. I am sure that was a fun word. I recommend everyone try incorporating that in their vocabulary. It's kind of fun. Okay, so what do we got here? What do we got here? The blog posts, let me tell you, I'm not going to read them because they're not really like, sometimes they align with whatever, but sometimes they're just like, I don't know, not my cup of tea. And so blog latest, the one from last Wednesday is titled Whatnot Acquires Shaped, Shaped, the company, to accelerate AI across live commerce. Anybody see that? Welcome in. And I skimmed through it, and it basically is just saying that AI has been, you're my favorite right now. Don, Don for the win. Yes. Um, so they basically say Whatnot's been using AI from the beginning, which they're a big tech company. Of course they are. They only have this many staff members and there's like tens of millions on the platform, right? So they use AI, and then there's this company called Shaped that I am unfamiliar with completely that they acquired. So they're big enough that they're acquiring companies now. That's kind of the takeaway I got from it. And it's going to step up their AI game as far as like buyers and sellers connecting in the products that they have to offer and that they're looking for. That's it sounds like what they're using the AI for. So that's one blog post, and the other one is titled "The World Cup." I feel like this one's a day late, dollar short. My opinion. The World Cup fuels soccer jersey boom on Whatnot. I don't know. I didn't read that one, if I'm being honest, because I feel like it's too late to take advantage. And but it's noteworthy because for resellers, probably more so when there is like a big trending something coming up. It does behoove resellers to plan for that if you can, right? If you're like, dang, I know this soccer thing is going to be a big deal. Maybe have a bias observation for those. Thanks for the hearts. Maybe have a bias observation for those jerseys and those sports things happening. If you know it, if there's a big baseball thing coming up or a big like any kind of, if it's the Olympics or whatever, it can translate to sales. And so I guess that's kind of the takeaway. But it's there if anyone wants to read it. And that came out yesterday. That came out yesterday. My husband, my husband here. Oh yeah, I mean, hey, I'm in Washington State. It is a huge people here play soccer from like 3 years old. If you start soccer when you're in like school, like middle school, junior high, like when sports start in school, you're like way behind, right? Like people here play soccer year round from the age of 3 to 5 is probably the average start age, and they play well into their adulthood. Like there's whole rec things, there's they drive everywhere. It's like a whole culture, a whole thing. Seattle Sounders are like a thing, and so this area's been going kind of nuts. They had whole block parties downtown in my city celebrating this, and to me it's all sports ball. I don't know. I know the name is it Messi? I don't know. I don't know. People try to talk to me about it. I'm like, I don't know. I'll tell you about whatnot. Anyway, so that's the update. And the blog post is there if anyone wants to read about the soccer stuff. But otherwise, we're going to talk about products. We're going to talk about products. The quote today is just kind of an interesting one to chew on that I came across. Like, and I'll tell you, most of the stuff I try to have a quote that's relevant. And most of the quotes that I was seeing had to do, like, if you just Google or go on Pinterest and you just like, hey, I just give me some quotes for products, like, or I want something insightful. Usually they'll be pretty good with the responses, but when you asking it about products, it just was really biased towards intangible products, not like the physical products. And so it was really hard to find a quote that wasn't saying like, hey, the product is actually you, or the product is actually um, the experience that you offer and this kind of thing. So this one was, it's not exact to the topic, but it's interesting. So quote, and it's in the show notes. Quote, if 40% of customers wouldn't be very disappointed if your product disappeared, the fit isn't there yet. I'll read it one more time because this had me like, ooh, that's a good one to chew on. If 40% of customers wouldn't be very disappointed if our product disappeared, the fit isn't there yet. I thought that was like, ooh, you know what I mean? I was like, ooh, okay. Talk about like, aspiring to be not replaceable, or like really honing in your branding or whatever. I feel like it could be translated different ways, but like I'm a huge fan of those like random one-off hashtag goals that like that's a, I want you to miss me when I'm gone. Like that's a freaking business goal right there. And so Purple Turtle, how you doing? Hey, hey. Um, yes, Tober, 100% agree. 100% agree. Relationships, okay? All the things. And so that's what we're going to lead with, and I'll try to bring that up at the end too cuz that's really good. Anyway, so I want to actually lead this topic with a question or two that I don't have written down, but we're just going to impromptu a little bit. I do have some notes, but they're very like little bit notes because it is more of a chew this topic. But I'm curious if anybody here, welcoming you guys, Sassy Classy, how you doing? I'm curious, does anybody here have like a solid method, like a solid um, strategy that could be articulated simply as far as like how you came up with your product line? Like how did you guys, is it just kind of like what was, um happened to be available, what just kind of like was whatever, just seizing whatever opportunities was there, or was it like deliberate, like this is what I like to do, so this is what this is what I love, so this is what I'm bringing? Or was it like, well, I just, have stuff around the house and I need to make some money, and so I'm just selling that? Like, are there any strategies that you guys have as far as that's shareable, as far as like how you came up with and landed at what you're selling live specifically? Tober makes sense. Makes sense. I love that you guys have that term too. Natural say hi, welcome in. Solid. See a need, fill a need. Yeah, smart. Heck yeah. Follow my curiosity. I love that actually. That's really I love that. That's a that, thank you for that answer. That's really good. I like that. My sister-in-law gave me a heat press. That's all that it takes to happen sometimes. That's what's up. And now your screen name is like, thanks, sis. See what you did? See what you did? Trying to decide now by watching where the intersects are. Lost Mermaid. I love that. There sometimes you're like speaking my language a little bit because alignment is like huge in my world anyway. And so already pivoting though. I mean, you're allowed. Hey, pivot as necessary. New York friends couldn't take any more of my creations, and so you started. That's fair. Or my friends couldn't take any more. That's fair. That's fair. They're like, that's a cue. Like, push it out in the world. More people need to see your stuff. I like that. Graffiti art through it all. That's what's up. That's what's I do think, and we'll talk about it a little bit. I do think there's a difference in how art folks decide and how, um, apart from like regular commerce and like commodities, I think commodities choosing commodities comes from a different place and a different like logic than our arts than our handmade and our art stuff. I think create reusable uh, tote bags from upholstery fabric, samples for shelter. Oh, so I sell the fancier fabrics on what not to buy, more handles for. I love that. Heck yeah. So there's like real purpose in that. Heck yeah. Simply Smart Shop, and I didn't see what I was making on here, but I'm still narrowing. Hey, me too. Me too. I think I finally figured out, narrowed down like the art stuff. And this is part of the reason why I'm diving into this now, because I think, a lot of makers, it's like, you make some stuff or do your art thing over here, but then supplement your overall model with resell. And so now that I've like anchored in the okay, this is what I want to be making. Now I can like I have the bandwidth to like, okay, now what do I want to resell? And so it's like all fresh, like, no shit, what do I want to resell? Stay home to shop. How you doing? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. And I've been on here 3 years, and so Simply Smart Shop, and I feel you. I feel you. Yes, at first it was just an accident, something on my own, something for my own business, and then just realized I wasn't the only one who needed it. Yeah, which is brilliant because it takes a certain lens to be able to catch opportunity like that. Um, good on you. Good on you for recognizing that and running with it. Because even if you recognize it, you don't have to necessarily act on it. But like you took it and we're like bet. So like hold my beer. So good on you. Good on you. My guest room was filled with token ones. Yeah, fair enough. Um, Crafting is my therapy. Trammel toe. I love that. And that's the thing with crafting, right? It's like you just want to share it. It's so shareable, and it does come from a place of it. It does come from a different place. Let's see, and it's not meant for us to keep, in my opinion. It is meant to be like mean something, enrich someone else's life in some kind of way. So I'll say to sell to pay for my supplies. Hey, nothing wrong with that. And then let's see. Wait, Tober mats like for like table mats or like for like rugs, like for the floor. Tiny the artist, how you doing? Melinda's Creations, welcome in, you guys. We're asking the question. We're talking product lines today. So asking the question, like, how do you guys come up with? I have some notes just to chew on. No Bible here, but just I'm curious, like, how you guys landed on what you guys have decided to sell on whatnot. Yeah, happy accidents. Yeah. It's kind of like when you ask for something, like the universe will answer, not to sound too woo woo, but like, if you're open to it, you'll be like, that's the thing. And most of us don't have, like I said, the lens to recognize it when it's like dropped on us. Um, Natural state of high, obviously. does have that lens, and it's a solid because sometimes things just come to you. My other side hustle was a lot more potential for actual income. Fair, super fair, and joy matters. I second that. Don, that's a good reason, and that's a popular one too. Liquidating the current things. Handcraft. Whoa, Mullins. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I am telling you, handcraft leatherwork, including hand tooling. Still trying to figure out what category to up. You know what? There's not many leather workers on here, so that would be a tricky one. It probably, if it's like accessories, I would say like women's and men's accessories type of thing. If it's like belts and bags and things like that, but earrings even. But there's not really a spot in handmade besides like the other. There might be like an other category. I was actually just thinking about that today because we have a rate. We're just planning out our raid trains for the year, and we try to have like a specific niche showcase. And there's all these one-off niches that don't have like a whole community yet. Leather is definitely one of them, and so we're like, we got to get some leather people in the showcase somehow. And so we just got to have like onesie twosie reps for like one train because uh, you're the first movers in your space, and so which congrats for that. Self storage units in addition to your, yep, exactly, yep. Because you gotta, it funds the. Thank you for the share, Sassy. You gotta fund the, make it well rounded. Because we know art sales are difficult. We know this. Sleep in for the homeless, and I do. Others, oh, look at you. That's super sweet, Tober. Storage units to expand visibility of me and my art on the. So let me ask you guys this. That's another thing I'm curious about. For the artists and makers in here who also do resell, is your, which I don't know how many there are in here, but is your resell aligned with your handmade and art, or is it like two totally different things? So in other words, like I sell wood burning, right? And so a question for me is like, should I resell wood or should I resell whatever, whatever I think would sell? Like, is there how popular or not is the or how important is that like matching branding? Is that like a thing or is that not a thing? What are you guys doing? Tober says different. Tell the friends about whatnot, and he does leather work too. Of course, he does. Guy thinks he's waiting for me to get started first. That's fair enough. It's a scary place getting started, but once you do, hey, the sooner the better. Just got to rip that band-aid off and just dive in. Really. Let's see. Ooh, Don, that's awesome. I don't know if I knew you did woodworking, but that's awesome. Um, we're in the process of destashing. As soon as I figured out what I wanted to make, I've been trialing all these other products for like 3 years, and I was like, I can just get rid of all that other stuff then because I ain't gonna need none of that. So, and hey, it's a good like wood stove. Obviously, I'm biased, but um, there's a market for it for sure. Since I started live shopping, my sales have increased 10 times compared to the curated shows at home. That's awesome. Good on you for pivoting as you saw fit. It's crazy thing too. Like, and I think that people forget this. So the product line that we choose is oh, what's the word for it? It's not concrete. It's like we can change it, right? It's not it's flexible is not the right word, but it's we can change it at any time, right? I mean, there's something to consistency and not changing like too much too often. But we're not like locked in to any one product line. There's something, it's nice to like transition nicely between them if we switch it up so our audience can shift with it and stuff like that. But I do find it interesting with Whatnot. There's like some folks that sell for a year and then totally change up their product line, or 2 years or 3 years, and then totally change it up. And you're like, you know what? Hey, if it works, it works. So different because I have a lot to liquidate later. I want to combine. Right on. Heck yeah. Okay. And then random pulls and art, not important for the alignment there. And then Boogie Gen, I align mine hip hop for Randy's art and my crafting bit. It's nice. Okay. So it's mixed, basically all over the place right now. I feel you. And you're allowed. You're allowed. I don't think this isn't something, especially when it's like two, when it's like the arts and handmade and the resell in one place. There's really not like a blueprint that I can discern, that I can see as far as like any one thing working. It's like it really is to each their own, and based on a couple things, I think that we'll get into as far as just like it's a short list and stuff, so I'm kind of easing into it, but um, the options are pretty endless. Only resell what I get a great deal on to make the most profit. That's what's up. And that's for a lot of folks. It's just like I don't care what it is, as long as I can make money off it, because I'm here to make money, period, which is totally valid. So you know what, too, Tiny? I don't think I've ever been to one of your liquidation shows. I think they're at the Butt Crack of Dawn, the Butt Crack at East Coast Dawn, right? Or something. Because I feel like I tried to catch them for a minute and then I just kept, I was just like, I don't. And so like I know mentally that you do that, but like in my conscience, I'm like, no. Sound check. How about now? Can we hear me now? Okay, we're back. Thank you. Alrighty. So totally different, but I would love to niche it down. When I was doing strictly crystals, it was oracle card pools, mushrooms, natures, relative items. That's true, and that's funny you say that actually, because I feel like you're like the one sticker person with a niche because it's for sellers specifically. Um, so that's interesting because yeah, I guess you're right. It's like not, it doesn't go with like the crystals, but it is like a solid niche in its own right. Sassy, that's a good niche. And we're going to talk about niches too, because I really think niches are, as the app grows, I think niches are going to be increasingly important because we'll get into it, but niches for the win in my view, for making or for resell in general. But and I got a good analogy, I think, for how to know if we got a good niche going for ourselves. I'm thinking of running shows in various genres to build a client base. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Jewelry, estates, wood, comics, live shop, and audience. Let's the audience decide what they want to bid on. It's very flexible to build. I like that. I love that different stuff works for different people. And that's why it is good to like try all the different things, because we don't know unless we try. And I think we forget. We kind of like, a lot of us tend to just kind of look around and see what's working for certain people. And then we just kind of see that as a path to success. And so I'll just follow those footsteps. Right. But I think we forget that like there's a lot unexplored and untested so far, but also, thank you, Skittles. This is a Whatnot handmade, hand dyed shirt by my tie dye creations. It's like my favorite. Um, it's like my favorite. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm a huge freaking tie dye fan, you guys. If you see me, you're allowed to tag me. Or if you see tie dye, handmade like tie, hey, Rick, ready. I saw some messages come in right as I was getting ready to go live. Um, Since you're here though, you guys, Amber is like up by me right now. She's like, we're like an hour ish away. All right, since you're here, I'll just ask you in front of everybody, are you available in like 2 hours? Because I'll just hop on the ferry. Are you in Seattle, or are you in the other city still? I don't want to put your location on blast, but um, just hop the ferry over, see that kind of thing. So, and then what else do we have? Gave away more than I've sold, Sassy. You're not the only one. A lot of us do that. And it takes a while to get in the hang of, because it's social and we just want to share. We're so eager to share stuff. It takes a while to be like, okay, I'm here for, I got to be an adult at some point, and I got to like get my money stuff straight, and I got to like set these here boundaries, and I got to make it professional and make it business, and I got to make these decisions based off X, Y, and Z, and I got to like stay consistent and this, that, and the other. It takes a little bit to dial in all those things, because like even today there's like when certain people are like, oh, that would be really cool for this, in my heart I'm like, oh, I'll just make it, I'll just send it to him. And I'm like, no, Tamika, you have to like, you have to do it the right way and not just, make stuff and just send it because that's what I want. You just want to share your stuff. I get it. I get it. I hate taking people's money too, fun fact. And so it's like a whole thing. So go on early. I like to go on early or late. Okay. The next few weeks, gonna try to get a consistent rollout of the storage pools. Right on. You guys, make sure you go in and bookmark Tiny the Artist shows. Let me give you a mod. Let me give you a hat, Tiny, so you stand out a little more. Tiny the Artist. Oh my God, that's only 4 days away. That's only 4 days away. You guys, make sure you bookmark all Tiny shows right now. Um, the this curated art event where she's onboarding new artists to Whatnot and auctioning, I think, over 100 donated art pieces from Whatnot artists, most of them original, uh, the 25th. And she's got these shows beforehand so you can kind of see the artwork and stuff that she's got. It's all like, all if not mostly dollar starts. You guys hop in those shows, tell a friend, the whole thing. This is like a community. Make sure you don't miss this thing, because it's like a whole thing. And like, if you can support in any way, please do so. Starting with, just go bookmark them shows and make sure you're like in the know on what it is, and then really, really, really try and show up on the 25th if you can. 23 Whatnot members supported. Freaking dope. Just supporting the cause, right? Just, yeah, bring the, you know what? I was in the show too, Tiny, of Crayon Eater, the Crayon Eater, and that collection is amazing, freaking amazing. I don't want to say the whole name, the Crayon Eating Bee, but you guys, I'm telling you, it's like, it's a whole thing. Like, some of the artists local down there are already coming on to Whatnot, and like the talent, it's so good. Make sure you're in that loop. I'm just saying, make sure you're in the loop. Yeah, give that one a follow. That's a messy art collection, you guys. I'm just telling you. I was, incognito over there, and I was like, dude, this is a really dope collection. Kind of want some. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure some are gonna be in that showcase too. So yeah, amazing, dude. I saw like 30 people in there, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the first show. Um, Good for them. Heck yeah, amazing. Amaze balls, over 100 pieces starting at $1, many sudden death. You guys, original art, and some from Whatnotters. Be a supporter, but also get a deal. She's got it all like listed so you can see what's in there and everything. It is good stuff. Heading to, I don't know what PNB is. However, I will touch base after this show, I suppose, and see like kind of what the itinerary is for the rest of the day. I'm sorting through jewelry, and that's about it. Uh, Euphoria. We have to be kids too. We have to maintain our inner kid, but we do have to adult some of the time. Oh, ballet. Oh, right on. Heck yeah. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no kidding. Heck yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I choose to not adult. I feel you. I have to like um pick and choose my days, kind of like being on a diet or something. Like, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna eat salads. That's fine. But like on Saturday, I'm having a cheat day, right? So I'm not adulting full time. Crazy. Anyway, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so you guys, let's we're almost at an hour, so let's hop into this topic a little bit. I love all these answers and responses. Hazy, you were the shout out. I don't know if you're in here earlier, but that's Hazy right there, you guys. So make sure that's a mandatory follow. She was our host for Artisan Alley Paper Crafts yesterday, and she I love her face so much, and she's a mandatory follow. So if you're not familiar, please get familiar. Also, I forgot to ask you, Hazy, if you are involved with the Naughty Awards again, which I forgot to put that in my updates. But if anyone's not caught wind of that, also the What Naughty Awards round three. So, like an annual Whatnot Awards type of thing with the Suburban Bish. Thank you for that tag. Yes, mandatory follow. Is starting. So the suburbanbish.com. You can go in there and like start nominating your favorite uh whatnot sellers in all these different categories. They added extra categories. Some of them are serious, some of them are fun. Third year coming up. It's a good time. You got, and they keep doing it. And so they have like this whole production thing going on. Really cool. Thank you. Yes, suburbanbish.com. If anyone's not familiar, get familiar because great way to support your favorite sellers and just these are the things that are gems if we're new to like whatnot is new, and there's certain things that like are brand spanking new now, but like down the line it's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember when that was just starting. That's like one of those things. Officially one of the friends. Heck yeah. And so third annual Suburban Bish Whatnaughty Awards. Get to know that. Okay. So, you guys, let us talk product lines. Just some chews, but I hope it sparks some thought, I guess, because it's just stuff I've been thinking about. And just if it resonates, cool. And if it doesn't, that's cool too. It's kind of how this goes. And so I broke it this topic. We're just going to segue abruptly because I just realized we're at the hour mark. So I broke this topic up into three chunks essentially, which is what I'm calling, for lack of a better term, the well, how I put it in the notes is love filter. These are filters. Okay. So there's like there's this whole sea, this whole ocean of possibilities of products, physical products that we could sell. This whole, it's like this endless, almost endless. It's like we're not selling refrigerators on Whatnot or couches yet. I mean, maybe one day, but it's a lot of possibilities. Like pretty much most things you can buy on Amazon, you can get on an Etsy, you can get an eBay and stuff. You can get on, you can sell on Whatnot. And so it's like there's going to be more categories coming. There's just so many options. That how do we narrow it down? And so these are like filters to narrow it down. Okay, so the first filter is love. I'm going to explain this one. The second filter is math, and then potential. And then the third filter, I guess if we want to call it this, is a niche. And this is just like, again, like if this resonates, cool, and if not, I don't know. This is just how I'm kind of approaching it. Um, starting with love. Starting with love. So I think info and nominations on the suburbanbish.com. So you guys screenshot that. Screenshot that and visit it today. There's homework, okay? Everybody visit that. I think the actual awards is January, right? And so oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Okay, so just I'm lying. There's an appliance category. Thank you. Kitchen appliances, probably like air fryers and coffee pots and stuff, I would imagine. That's cool though, and it'll probably keep growing. So like, hey, if you're like, I love appliances, there you go. There you go. Get after it. Washers? What? Okay. I'm actually going to write that down because I got to go find a washer seller now and figure out how exactly they're doing that. Has anybody seen that yet? Delivery, if you're in their area, just okay. So just like a local pickup deal. Hey, good on them. I know I've seen people with freaking $100 steaks that were like $100 to ship Kobe beef and stuff. And I was like, you're never gonna catch me buying never gonna catch me buying that. But other people were. And this is I'm just gonna say this and then I promise I'll get into the topic. Whenever resell or handmade, any of us that are like people that are rationalizing to ourselves based on thank you for the share, that are telling ourselves like people only want steals and deals and they don't want to pay like whatnotters, they don't want to pay up for items. I can't start my items for these prices. I can't do this. I have to do discounted shipping. I have to do giveaways. Like those cultural like ideas, I just want to share when we these are things that we tell ourselves, right? When if we catch ourselves thinking stuff like this, we need to go visit the people selling steaks for $100 that are getting folks to spend $100 just to ship overnight these freaking steaks. Okay, we go to a handbag show, we go to certain one of these shows, and it will prove us wrong immediately. They're not doing giveaways, they're not doing discounted shipping, they're not doing dollar starts, they're not doing none of these things. And so if we the more time we spend recognizing and just knowing that that stuff also exists, the more confident we can be in setting our prices how it makes sense for us, right? And so it erases the excuse, like that we have this idea that's like everybody and this and that. Like, no, that's just that's some people. That's not everybody. There's buyers for everything, and it's on us to set the expectation for our products. And so literally 100, I'm not even talking about like steaks like this. I'm talking about like 7-inch ribeye or 7-ounce ribeye, just outrageous $80, 7-ounce ribeye and $100 to ship. Literally people are paying for that. And so like up your prices, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, quality products will sell, yes. Do watch their selling features and tactics. Yeah, good point. Yes, they do have to work, which I'm not knocking them for sure. Like to each their own. They do have to sell it. They do have to sell it. People ain't just gonna swipe just willy nilly. They gotta sell it. But it just, Vinyl Canyon, how you doing? Uh, I'm loving the cats, Vinyl. Loving the cats. You guys follow Vinyl Canyon on Insta. See her new art stuff. She's doing these atomic cats and stuff. So good. 100% agree. Skittles. Yeah, exactly. Which you source it for, which you make it for. 100%. The food sellers are usually wholesalers to restaurants or have other sales channels, and so they aren't relying on their whatnot income. Interesting. Interesting. You know what? I heard that one of the journals or some of the journals in the Battle of the Junk Journals are going for like over 100 easy for some of them, and then like a couple $100 for some of them, which is freaking awesome because some of those things just look like they take months to make, and so that's super cool. And again, it just goes to prove that like there's buyers for it. So if anyone missed the junk journals, if you haven't experienced a junk journal, screenshot the show notes. Legit, screenshot the show notes and check out every one of those sellers, paper craft sellers. Most of them have junk journals. Some of them have other paper crafty stuff, but just amazing. Artisan creations, amazing. Only source what I can get behind. Fair. Yeah. Close to 500. That's awesome. That is awesome. It is. It really is. It really is. Five junk journals in the July. Hey, there you go. $1 starts. Go get them. I think I saw two of them. They're really freaking cool. They got like hidden. They're amazing. Yeah, that's freaking super cool. If you missed the showcase yesterday, I'm sorry. Again, screenshot those ones in the sellers in the show notes. And here we go. Here we go. We're going to talk about love. You guys, we're going to talk about love. Okay. Hear me out. Here, yes, it does. Hear me out on this. This isn't even meant to be like woo woo. It's not even meant to be woo woo. It's meant to be like actually kind of a no brainer the way from where I'm sitting. So the question is, what should we be live selling? That's the question. And how do we answer that question? That's what these filters are for. And I feel like where the possibilities are pretty much endless, where we can sell freaking washing machines to fresh seafood, to everything that's on Amazon, is like, where do we start? Where do we start? Where do we begin in that sea, in that ocean of possibilities? Where do we start? In my view, the easiest place to start is with, well, what do we like? What do we love, right? What do we love? Because it's real easy, because we have to filter somehow, some way, right? And it may be a lot easier for us to be like, okay, well, here's all the things that I don't love. So let's just slide that out of the equation completely, right? Because, and this is the other reason for this being a starting point. If it's our business, right? It's our business. We're the CEO. We're in charge of all the decisions and all the we are responsible for the sourcing, for the branding, for the selling of the things, for the packaging and the shipping of the things. Like we're in making decisions for the whole process. So we are accountable for all the things and we have to deal with the consequences of all the things. And so it does not, here we go, does not behoove us to sell things that we just detest in any way, shape, or form, because we're in charge of that. So, like, why, if I hated selling um, glass, I don't sell glass, by the way, because it gives me anxiety shipping it, the thought of packaging it, just like, but if I was like, I'm gonna sell glass, even though I know I hate shipping it, like why would I do that to myself? Right. And so I think what we love is the best like starting point. And if we don't like love something, just whatever we like the most. Because if we can find something that we can sell that's in this pocket, we're winning, right? We're winning. I hear a lot of sellers that just like don't love what they're doing, don't love what they offer. We've all seen sellers that are like, hey, I'm selling this, that, and the other. Um, you know, I don't really care for it, but I figure somebody would want it, type of a thing. Well, like, okay, you can probably get someone to buy it, but a lot of people won't buy into that energy, because what people like to buy into is, oh my God, I can't wait to show you guys what I found. I can't wait to show you guys what I made. Like, I'm so excited. I freaking love this. I want to keep it. You're gonna freaking love it. I'm so excited to send this to you. Like our love as the seller transfers to the buyers. Like the audience buys into our feels for what it is that we're selling, be it like our, if we're selling clothes, like whatever our style or fashion or whatever, our vibe, to our handmade products, to whatever it is. It's like how we feel about it kind of transfers. If we're all like, it's okay, then our audience is going to go, well, it's in your hands, so you know better than I do through the screen. And if you're saying it's just okay, then I'm going to pay you a just okay price, if I'm even going to consider buying it at all. And so, for a couple of reasons, but mostly, so for the sales strategy portion, but also for the simple fact that it's like, if it's our choice between selling what we what we love and what we don't, then like why wouldn't we start there at least and like try that avenue first? So that's kind of, and then I've broken up into three different spots. Yeah, why be ungenuine if we don't have to? And I mean, granted, so I understand that, like, again, a lot of sellers are like, I don't care what it is, as long as I'm here to make money. I don't care what the products are. I have zero emotional connection or attachment to any of the products. And like, that's fine, to each their own. This is like for those who are interested in this type of path, I suppose, more so. Vinyl Canyon, I feel you. And sometimes you have to sometimes something seems like a good idea until you start doing it, and then you're like, "Actually, there's some shows that I've experimented with that I did it one time, and I was like, not doing that again." I don't have to go through that more than once to just I just learned it was worth a try. Try anything once, but I just learned that that is not how I want to spend my energy, not doing it. But at least you know, right? Because you did try. And so otherwise, you're just questioning it forever. To be honest, some categories, this is true. Art and home decor examples that get too little love, really. Interesting. Interesting. Sassy, I feel you. I feel you. Um, yeah, vinyl. I mean, I know there's a lot of folks that get pallets and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna sell pallets because they see other people do it and then get the pallet, and then they realize real quick what it is to ship a pallet. Like sourcing and shipping pallets. It's like it's not people. We just see what's on screen. We don't see the whole process. It's a situation. Oh, that's another good example. Yeah, yeah, those are real popular right now too, though. Which there's a lot of cool. The card swap thing has really surprised me. There's actually a lot of cool. I think Mickey, Height Normal Design, probably introduced me. Mickey, you might be in here still. She was probably one of the first that I saw like really dive into that card swap because she's got like a really good eye for unique stuff. That she incorporates into her jewelry too. But I always thought that was like one of her like best things about her, that she just had this eye for things. And so she's just pulling out these cards, and I'm just like, I sit in those shows, and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, how do you even find that stuff? I've never seen any of these in my life. And like, how are you just casually sourcing these like super random, one of a kind, like some are vintagey, some are just like, I don't even understand, but I know that's like trending and there's a lot of people doing it now. But yeah, it's a whole thing. She is a time traveler. Um You got so many well, you gotta make stuff. Well, I don't know, I think you gotta make stuff out of them. That's the only I never buy them because I don't know what to do with them. I think they're cool. I think they're cool, but I my brain goes to crafting. My brain goes to crafting, and so, you know what, Lost Mermaid, artists have a little trouble hiding their feelings, and that's totally fine, and that's a good segue, actually. You guys keep me on topic because 'cause I'm obviously rambling today. Um for the lead filter. I have an asterisk here about art versus commodities because of exactly what you just said. Art is a different, comes from a different place than commodities. It just does. Art, we are making it from a different place, and we're selling it with a different intention. There's like meaning behind it. It's not simply just like cranking out mass quantities of whatever. Which, don't get me wrong, there's a whole spectrum of arts and handmade type of stuff, I suppose, because on one end of the spectrum, there's like one of a kind original art with like the extra, the prints and the other things that you can make with the art, all the way to the commodity side of making stuff where it's almost more like manufacturing, or there's like small batch makers, um, 3D printing, laser engraving, all the like the wood cutout type of things that we probably see lately. I guess there's some fabricy stuffs that are like this. Um, Anything, I guess some shirts and stuff can be like this, where it's like you can kind of create a design and then you can rinse and repeat that design because you got like some like manufacturing process tied to it. That's a little different. And so there's like a whole spectrum within arts and handmade. But on the end of the spectrum that is original art, that is created and sold differently because there's different like feelings and intention behind that. And so it truly is apples and oranges. It truly is apples and oranges. I think when it comes to, um, I'll focus on the commodities portion for this one. Regarding this love filter, it is broken in my view because there's a lot of stuff we can be like, okay, well, I like a lot of stuff, and in the ocean of stuff that I could sell. And this would be like literally just writing down a list of like, here's a bunch of stuff that I like, here's a bunch of stuff that I love, and and then how do we filter that down? We filter it down by, I think, um, the things that we got to do with it. Because it's one thing to like a product or love a product, it's different selling it. It's different selling it. And so it's not just do we love the product, the style, whatever, it's do we love sourcing it? This is a filter, right? Do we love sourcing it? There's a sourcing filter. There's certain things that are a nightmare to source. Freaking nightmare. Super cool products, nightmare to source. There are certain products that are super cool, love them so much, but they're a nightmare to sell, right? Some people like selling $100 steaks. Some people that would be a nightmare. Some people might like selling washing machines. Officially, one of the brands. Some people might like selling washing machines online. Some people that would be like a nightmare. Like, I don't want to meet up with people and have local pickup all the time. Like, I don't want to deal with that's a nightmare, right? Do we love selling it? Some people might love clothes, but don't love selling it. Some people might, there's just a whole bunch of different things. And then shipping. So, sourcing, selling, and shipping. That's what we're doing with the products, right? And so that's the process. Those are the 3 points of the process to have to factor in, and so we can filter out the things that don't meet us where we want to be when we're deciding what to sell, right? Because if it's something that we perfect world, it's something that we enjoy, and we enjoy or at least don't hate all three of these points in the process. If it's convenient or efficient or whatever to source, if it's enjoyable to sell, because it's like, selling stuff is very different depending on what you have. Like if it's large items, um or if you're literally like going through a storage locker, that's very different than you just having a tub of jewelry. um I don't mean to say it with like a twang like that, but like if you have a tub of jewelry, that's just a totally different sales situation. Like just the moving parts, it's just way more. It's why jewelry is so popular. Part of the reason jewelry is so popular to source and to sell is because it's small. It's very easy to sell, and it ships like so smoothly. Some stuff like selling jewelry. I remember being in somebody's show, whom I won't name, but there was a card seller and there was a women's contemporary and maybe a little bit of vintagey seller co-hosting. This is a while ago, like over a year ago, and they got talking about shipping, and the card seller was like, well, the women's contemporary and I think vintage seller was like, well, it's a different situation shipping what I sell because it's like it takes more time. It takes different kind of packaging materials. It's just very like when you're bundling, it's like a situation. And the card seller was like, I disagree. I disagree. You have to. It takes a lot to ship cards, like playing cards, like sports cards and things. And they really like argued about it for a second. That it was like one was saying that it's the same, that there's no difference in the shipping situation. The other one was like, no, there most definitely is. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, well, obviously there is a difference. Obviously there's a difference. It's not even debatable, but it just goes to show that like that it's a huge factor in our process. And some things, like if we're just sleeving and shipping cards and everything we sell is the same size or generally the same weight, right? Because like all our whatnot shipping goes off weight, not dimensions. um it's going to make our shipping, situation way easier. Right. And most people would, right? Because, and this is why notice the card category is, I don't know if I like this term, but fairly saturated, relatively saturated compared to the other ones. And so is jewelry. That's because we love it goes through the shipping filter, right? It goes we enjoy that more than shipping swung bases. Like it's just a totally different and way more efficient of a process. We can get the materials in bulk. There's just a whole lot of things there. So anyway, this first one, this love filter, I think it's a great starting point for deciding what it is that we're going to sell. Um, Again, like we can get into stuff that we're just selling it just for the money, but this is like, even if we are just selling stuff for the money, like if there's stuff that we enjoy more, like why not opt for that? But it has to factor in, I think, these three things, all three things: the sourcing, the selling, and the shipping of the items, because this can help us narrow down and filter out a ton of things that Silver Moon Mama, welcome in, and a ton of things that we wouldn't otherwise if it wasn't articulated in this way. And so then resell or arts and handmade, whatever we're left with on the table, it should be a much smaller pool of items that we have to decide from, because we're trying to narrow it down to where we get to the niche. Because again, we'll talk about, like, I think niche for the win, but it goes from what we enjoy to what actually makes sense monetarily. Um, this filter, this filter, if we're doing the business thing, even if it's hobby, even if it's part time, no matter what level, even if it's like just via pop ups or whatever, there's all levels to how we show up on in live sales. But to whatever degree we're doing it, there's a financial underbelly, right? And that we got to tend to, if we're not going to be in the negative, right? Like at some point that is part of the equation. More so if we're full time and this is like our how we pay our bills, but just goals anyway. Even if it's just like it was brought up earlier, just to cover, more craft supplies, that's fine. But the math has to math. There's a lot of things that we super enjoy, but they're not lucrative at all, right? And everything's relative. So like we might see if I can think of an example. We might actually, okay, so I'm in Washington State, and there's some handcraft stores here that I would love. We did like little live tours of them. And I thought about trying to auction some stuff, like the similar to how people do, and even at the farmers markets, but similar to how like Stay Home to Shop and Naked Maple, for instance, do. Like they go through the thrifts, Tam's Creative Journey, they'll go through the thrifts and just have like some system for marking up the items. And that was fun. And I couldn't sell anything though because everything's too expensive, right? It did, like, the math didn't math. That was the problem. Because everything in Washington is freaking super expensive, and then the handmade stuff is even extra expensive because it's like up here, there's like a business that rents space to makers. And so the makers have their price point on things, and they're real like living wage Western Washington price points on things. And then the business that they get the space in, they charge like a 20% markup. And then when you buy the things, it's like you're paying something on top of that, I think. And so it ends up being, I mean, you can pay like $20 for a bar of artisan soap up here. And then I was like, so if I were to try to sell any of these things on Whatnot, I would have to charge prices that like nobody would pay for, right? I love it. Awesome products. You could find anything. Like there's a lot of makers up here. We're an hour from Seattle right here. There's a lot of makers up here. And none of it is resale friendly because this it doesn't pass this filter. It doesn't pass this filter relatively. We have to have items that we're excited about, ideally, that we can acquire for the lower cost and then resell or sell outright for the at a decent margin. And it's relative because it doesn't have to be like everything we source has to be under $5 or something like that. But thank you for the share. But it does have to be relative to for the profit margin. So like if we source handbags, Coach, Louis Vuitton, something for $1,000. So you know what? So I was in this. I guess we're just sprinkling some story time in here. I was in a handbag show. I was in a handbag show. These freaking purses. I don't know brands, period, really, but I don't know purse brands especially. But I know they were name brand purses. So I'm guessing like Louis Vuitton or whatever like that. These freaking bags were going for thousands of dollars, right? So they would do like $1 start, and then this handbag would go up to like $2,500. And the seller, and I'm sitting there going, wow, people are paying this much for purses. Like, what are we selling handmade purses for $10 for, first of all? And second of all, how so not only were they selling these items for like over, in the thousands, they would do something like something would auction and clear the bank at $2,500, and the seller would be like, oh come on chat, like I just lost money on that. And I would be like, what? Excuse me, you just lost my you're paying thousands of dollars just to stock your inventory. I can't even imagine that. Like that's wild. But it just goes to show like it's not about the price points, it's about the margin, it's about the relative difference. Because yeah, story time. Because um you have to make money, right? Is That's the whole thing. And so same in New England, hard to mark up retail price on that. It is hard. It really is hard. um oh, thank you for that. Yes, follow the makers in the show notes, please do. And so it's about the math has to math, period. So this is a really easy filter. Unlocking the friends. That makes me happy. All these little coffee cup emojis. That's what that is. I guess it's over here for you guys. Little coffee cup emojis coming in for the tea, right? I can think that's kind of how it goes in my head. These are new. I just put Rewards Club in like 2 weeks ago, I think. So this makes me happy to see these little emojis popping up. They do that for effect. Oh, the handbag sellers. Yeah, they even would have like over 100 in the room, and but it just is it just is. So I don't have, well, I got card displays in there now, but I am going to be destashing, I think, wood tomorrow, otherwise jewelry stuff, but probably wood. And then I have weekly destash shows for all this jewelry supplies, and so they got like eyeballs in the thumbnail. So if there's any jewelry folks in here that it's just dollar starts on just all the things. It's like it's like hundreds of bags of jewelry beads, and there's a couple tools and like the little hardware type of stuff. So there will be opportunity for those rewards. That's part of the reason why I was waiting on them, because I was like, I don't have volume of anything to accommodate a rewards club, but now I do. So here we go. Destashing. And so bookmark them if you're interested. Choose thrift outlets because the margins are better. Yeah, and you can get like some stuff, like people that have the eye for it, and estate sales too, people that have the eye for it, they can tell which things have like the biggest margin, because there's some gems that you guys find in these thrift stores that people just drop there. They didn't know what it was. They didn't recognize that it was um Fenton or whatever like that. And so definitely the possibilities are there to make some good money. But just in general, uh, applying this filter period. I mean, it's pretty. I'm kind of rambling on about it, but it um, that's a mandatory one. That's a mandatory one for like business purposes, right? Anything that is not mathing out, we have got to ditch it in our model. We just don't have any business selling it, right? If it's not, if we're buying something and then it's selling for less, like we just, that's the easiest way to be like, okay, let's filter that out. Or, it's okay to have some stuff if it's like loss leaders style stuff, but even that is like, that's not 100% of a business model. That's like maybe less than 10% of like these big ticket items that we're okay with losing some money on or breaking even on. Because if it brings in other folks to buy the other stuff, cool, but not as a model, not having like net negative stuff. So, um, the margin, is there a demand? Is there a margin to be had based on the sources that we got? That is the second filter, mandatory filter. And then the third one is the more interesting one, I think, which is niches. Um, Niches are, hey, thank you. You're an awesome mod. For the record, thank you for the hearts too, you guys. Yeah, she's right there too. She's right there. She's so pretty. I'm gonna be sad a little bit to ship her. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be sad about that one right there. Um, but it'll make me happy to ship her because that is the first original. That's the first original. Um, After 4 years of dabbling with this crap, so it is time. And so she'll. There's one bid on her too. There's $1. She's at $1 right now. And so I was like, yes, all I needed was one. And now we're gonna ship her out. That'll be next Sunday. So let's see. What's more fun than love and money? Hey, love and money and then niches. Thank you for keeping me on track. Love and money and niches. There we go. This is how we pick the product line in my brain today. Um, Hear me out on the niches, you guys. Okay, so I know that that sellers can. There's such a spectrum. There's such a spectrum. This is almost persuasive argument. I don't know, pitch, persuasive pitch. This is more of a persuasive pitch. And so hear me out. Like we could sell everything. All things are possible. The categories even are not even like super niche. Because if we're making stuff, it's easier to be like, this is what I make, right? And even I guess even easier said than done, but it's easier for arts and handmade to like land in a niche because it's like you're only making so many things. And so you can be like, I make X, Y, and Z. I know that some of us have like 10 different crafts and that's fine. But like whatever the primary one, two, three are, top two, three, that's what we make for the most part. And that's what we're offering. As we get into resell, it gets more broad of options because then we get into, well, I'll sell anything because I'm here to make money. We get into that land. And while we can categorize our niche as storage units, pallets, estate sales, um, even vintage glass, we can get niche within a category, I suppose. Graphic tees, um, I don't know, basketball shoes, leather purses, some, not just the category, but the thing within it. And I think the ones who do like the pallets and the storage units and this kind of thing, they're kind of separate because it's like you kind of understand that it's a that it's a liquidation of home goods, and there's probably some clothes, and it's like a bunch of home staples and things, and there probably is some old stuff. You have some kind of an idea of what you would picture to be at an estate sale or be in a storage locker. um Pallets, I would even be more specific if it's like a Target pallet, if it's an Amazon return pallet, if it's like, I wouldn't even just say pallet pulls. But here's the thing with niches. that I think is super notable, and reason why we should land on them is because as the app, because it's more memorable. The most simply put is because it's memorable. Uh, as the app grows, um, tens of millions of sellers, right? In my opinion, the ones who stand out are the ones who do a thing, a thing specifically. And I'll use an example. I'll use an example. I think I use this example in my YouTube actually, but if you are like, hey, it's my niece's birthday, and or my niece is graduating soon and I want to get her a tumbler with her name on it and her the year she's graduating or something like that. Like, who are you going to think of? This is the thing, is that if it's a niche, it ought align. I In my view, niches align with like solutions. They align, like their branding aligns with solutions. And so like if you want a tumbler made, your brain is going to go to, who do I know that makes tumblers? Who do I know that sells kid clothes? Got brought up earlier. Who do I know that does this thing? When we're thinking of what we want, specific needs that we need met, we're thinking of a source for that thing. We're not thinking, who do I know that sells a little bit of everything? Who do I know that is doing, uh, you know, pallet pulls of all these different kind of just selling whatever that. That's not who we think of, in my view. That's just my opinion. And as the app grows, I think that the ones, for that reason, I think that the ones that stand out in that sea of options are the ones who have determined and anchored into a niche, because you become a go-to for whatever that thing is. Just because there could be 100 or 1,000 sellers who offer tumblers, but if they offer tumblers alongside 20 other products, they're not going to come to your mind. You're going to be like, well, this person, I know every time I'm in their show, like that's what they have, period. Right? That's what they have. And so that's what I'm going to. Like, you're not going to question, like, and you're not going to like, oh, do you have any of this today? You're just going to be like, no, I'm going to go to the person who does it. Right? If I want, um, I don't know, glowy vintage glass, right? There's got to be someone, there's a whole bunch of sellers who have that in their stock sometimes. But if there's a seller who that is their niche, they source and sell glowy vintage glass, then when you're in the market for that, that's who you're going to, right? In my opinion. In my opinion, thank you. And so niches. And then here's the second part of this. Here's the second part of this. I know I missed a comment there. I appreciate you guys. Drop my tea is two $10 starts, costs more to make. I believe, hey, don't be scared to up your starting price, right? And as you build a room, you can take it down. It's harder to go up with price than it is to go down. Um, Buyers don't know what our stuff is worth. We do. And so if we set the standard, it's like, hey, this is, as India says, this is the price is the price. This is what it costs. Like, don't feel bad. Definitely, if you know exactly how much it costs you, and then you count in the fees and the packaging material and all that kind of stuff, feel free to just make that, even with a margin, make that your starting bid, and just be like, this is, if you want it, this is how much it costs. Especially if it's like $10 is a freaking steal for handmade. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Subject matter expert, so to speak. Fragmented artist, how you doing? Welcome in. You guys, if you're not familiar, Fragmented Artist is doing art talks live, co-hosting with different artists on the platform. There's a bunch scheduled. It's like a weekly deal. There's a bunch scheduled in there, so highly recommend checking that out. Faye West Design is also doing a monthly uh, co-host session, the Handmade Hub with artists, and I love these. You just get like two arts and handmade perspectives together to just discuss the things, and then like whoever's in the chat joins the topic too. It is good stuff, and so if you haven't been to those, I'd put that on the radar. So here's the little fun thing that I want to add on to this, like when we're picking our niche. When we're picking our niche, this is like to say when someone asks us, what do you sell? Or when we get rated, and this is part of our elevator pitch of like, hi, I'm so and so, and I sell blank, right? Filling in that blank. That's our niche, right? And so the asterisk or the bonus thought with this is that the simpler the better, the very simpler the better. This is the kiss method, the keep it simple silly method. This is like if we're aiming for memorability, and there's like some branding and other kind of stuff here. But if we're aiming for like the business strategy side, then whatever we fill in this blank with, it has to be extremely simple to the point where it's repeatable, memorable and repeatable. And the way it occurred to me to think about this, like, well, how do you know if your pitch is gonna land or not? And I think it's we all know the game telephone, right? As a kid, where like you whisper something to this one, and then they tell the next person, and then they tell the next person, and by the time it makes it through the group, it's like unrecognizable from the beginning sentence, right? And so, hey, with the Ray, who is this? Fluster Clux, welcome in. Hello, hello. Thank you for the raid. We need to go scope your profile. We need to go scope your profile. Let me see. Let me make sure. Thank you so much for the rate. Here, let me start to give you first. Let me not be rude. I will introduce myself in just a moment. Thank you so much. Let us know, what are you selling and what do you have coming up and all the good stuff. And let's go snoop really quick. I hope you had an awesome show. Fragmented artist, I see your comment. I'll circle back to that in just a second. You guys, Tammy, Banna, and Ella. Fluster Clux, 5-star, 77 reviews, under a day shipping time, coming up on 500 sold, halfway to 1K. Here we go. Oh, look at this. 3 single moms with a love for junk and stuff. Unfortunately, our children don't share our enthusiasm, so we are getting rid of it. Don't feel bad. We will find some more stuff. So if you love junk and stuff, come hang out with us, and maybe you will find some treasures. At the very least, we can have fun and a few giggles looking at it. Look at you. Normally sell vintage, but selling in stamping up now. Stamps. I see Paper Trail Raid Train up here. Retired Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin and embellishments. Heck yeah, 15 minutes to 1K. Raid Train. Precious Moments coming up. All the things glass Raid Train. Whole bunch of different options. This is funny actually, because we're talking. So let me introduce myself. You guys, so the giveaway is for a giftable card. You have entered into a chat show. We're chatting maybe for another 15-20 minutes. My name is Tamika of Custom Wood Burning. I do heat gun art on the platform, and every Tuesday we're here talking about life selling, different topic within the topic, and at noon Pacific. And then Fridays we're here doing demo, and then Wednesdays we're selling stuff. This next couple weeks, we have next 5-6 weeks probably, we're destashing wood and jewelry supplies if anyone's interested in that. But otherwise, today we're talking about product lines, like just some choose on how to decide what we should be selling live, and how to filter it down and filter out stuff that doesn't belong in our shows and stuff. And so we're talking all about products and how there's just like so many options. And so this looks like, you know, up your alley of like, you can just really sell anything. You can just sell anything. Lots of raid trains, Love that. But it does seem like everything's scheduled in vintage. So that seems to be kind of the niche, which is what we were just talking about. So good stuff. Good stuff. You guys, all kinds of shows. Any specific like start prices or any um specific things that you want to share that's like, hey, everyone should bookmark this specific show or anything like that, please do feel free. And thank you for coming in here. Thank you for coming in here. So let's see here. And that's okay if the kids aren't into it. As long as you guys are having fun, as long as you three are having fun. So Fragmented Artist said, true, making teas I'm making teas from my collages and pricing them at 35 each. Is it too much? I don't think so. But it is in my opinion. Hey, I think the it's totally, there's so many different methods to price and stuff. It really just is up to the seller. I have a hard time like um even trying to suggest like, this would be, even though for resale, I do think resale is different. I do think resale is different. I think resale, I actually had a video about this recently. Resale, I do think like I tend to lean into the Making Grace Vintage and Live Seller Pro strategy of like just picking a price point. I have experimented. Some of you guys know I have like I call it my burner account. Ran a couple of resale shows on a different channel just as a super noob, like 0 followers, just to experiment with some stuff and see what happened. And it was concretely determined that buyers like set start prices, undebatably, as far as my experience goes. And so I do think for resale that matter, but handmade and art, it's like you're the only one who knows what went into it, period. And so you know, dropping prices and just trying to move inventory, that's cool. But like, pricing stuff up and then just letting it sit there and, just incentivize and like, raise the bar for everything. Hey, there you go. That's what's up. So, hmm, let me think of what else I might be able to put in your thing. You guys craft too? Did I read that in there? You craft too? Either way, you for sure have a giftable card come in, and I'll put a little something on the inside of there as well. So thank you again for that raid. I do mini drawings live, but I'm still trying to find the right price point for my art and time. Uh, I kept trying to read Teresa, the serial hobbyist. Is sound check 1 2? I was getting a phone call in. Let me know when you can hear me. Are we back? Are we back? Sound check. Sometimes if they're leaving a voicemail, it stays mute for longer. Thank you. Okay. Green Leafy, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. So, niches. So here's the thing. I think analogies are fun because they're easy to remember, right? And so when we are picking and communicating our niche via our elevator pitch or in our profile bio or whatever, if we're just someone asks us, what do you sell? And we say, I sell blank. If we can, part of how we can know that's niche is that if we can explain it simply enough that it can pass the telephone game, right? It can pass the telephone game. If shout out to Stay Home to Shop, if he's in here still, he was like, we were knowing each other like a year or two, and he was like, you know what? I know you do wood something, but I still don't really know what you do. I still don't really know. Like I know, like I've been in your shows. I know that you do stuff with wood and it's like some kind of burning or artsy or whatever, but I still can't like I don't know what you do. And that I'm glad he said that because it really made me pause and critically think about, like, how am I communicating? Because if one person gives you feedback, at least 10 others thought of it too. And so it forced me to go, like, how can I explain? Because I say heat gun art, but no one, dang well, no one knows what that really means because it's a new craft, right? But either case, I had to cinch it. It made me think about it. So circling back to now, like, this kind of can apply to anybody of, like, can our niche description pass the telephone test? If I say Tiny the artist sells blank, right? Oh, you got to get on Whatnot. You got to follow Tiny the artist because she sells blank. That whatever I communicate, that person that I'm telling needs to be able to retain that, right? And if, because sometimes it's like way too complicated, there's just too many moving parts. If we're selling like too many different things or it requires too much explanation, nobody's going to remember, right? Just period, no, point blank, no one's going to remember. And that's why I say memorability matters, because if people can't remember what we sell, right? We go to do a raid train, and the whole purpose is to market our business, right? But if people leave our show and they don't remember what we sell, like maybe we're in Battle of the Best and we sell a handbag, but are we a handbag seller? What was it in our elevator pitch? You know what I mean? And so I think niches, because there's so much going on and the sea is so big of sellers and there's so many options and so many like um broad sellers, that I really think that as that pool grows, the niches, the like anchored niches, are the ones that are going to stand out amongst the crowd. It just is. It's like um our memory will serve us in that way of, like, who does um island art, TLC Mama Bear, who does the streetwear art, Tiny the artist, right? Um who does all the personalized giftables, Simply Smarter Shopping, right? Like, who does soap? It's Leslie. It's got to be like niche enough. If there's a bunch of hand makers, especially, that, like, if they sell too many different things, it's like, well, I don't really. I mean, I know you just make a bunch of stuff. I know you're in the handmade space, but I don't know, like, I don't know what your specialty is. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to buy from you or anything like that. So I think passing the telephone, most simply put, passing the telephone game is how we can, like, test that. So that's kind of the filter. So these are all filters, right? So those who weren't here in the beginning, we talked about uh starting point, a decent starting point. These are just my, like, this is just a chew. But starting point for figuring out what we should be selling. To me, the best starting point is deciding what we enjoy, what we love, products wise, but then filtering out the things that we don't love, the trifecta of. So it's like, we got to source them, we got to sell them, we got to ship them. If we don't love any of those parts, then we can just filter those out. So because we're creating a live selling business, we should enjoy it if we can, right? If we filter everything out of this first one, then just sell whatever, I guess. But if we're like, yeah, I like this, I can do this, I like this, we're gonna be happier about showing up and selling the things and shipping the things, right? And so I just think it's a good starting point, with what we enjoy, and then filtering by the math, right? It's got to math out. The margin's got to be relatively profitable for it to make sense. So filtering the love filter, the math filter, and then the niche filter, which is like the telephone game. Like, can we explain it simply so people will remember? Because for a lot of big picture business marketing strategy, long term, like, being a solution for all these other parts of, like, the business part of factors into, like, choosing our niche is is it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And so if we so this is more of just an offer on, like, how to narrow it down, because I really think that if we were to use this to, like, narrow it down, we'd be like, oh, that's what I should be selling. That right there, that's what I should be selling. And so specializing in blank. Yeah. sea glass. Very specific, right? Did you know there's other sellers who do sea glass in their, in their mixture of other jewelry? How many stand out? Like Just Lost Mermaid, right? Because that's her niche. She's anchored into this is what I do, right? And then there's like this subconscious thing that comes with that when someone specializes in something that whether it's we realize it or not, like automatically in our brain, like they're the expert. You know what I mean? Because if Lost Mermaid does sea glass jewelry, and then seller B does sea glass jewelry, but also um, does crochet, and also does wood burning, and also does um, makes handbags, and then also does this other, tumblers. You're gonna go, yeah. Something tells me Lost Mermaid does it better. Not trying to be like, judgy in that kind of way, but we just come to that conclusion of like the person who specializes and that's all they do, they're the expert, period. And so it's like you want to be known for being like the expert, right? And so niches for the win. Niches for the win. Okay. So you guys, I'm gonna read this quote one more time since we've discussed the chew. And so it's like kind of related, but it's kind of not, but it is related to products. So those who weren't here in the beginning, the quote to chew on, and we're doing pretty good on time. The quote to chew on is if 40%, and I'm dumping a lot of info right now, but if 40% of customers wouldn't be very disappointed if your product disappeared, the fit isn't there yet. The fit isn't there yet. So kind of related because it's products, but kind of not because it's like, but it's still, I feel like it's a real good thing to chew on. And so I'm sharing it. So what if you're good at all the things? Good point. Um, More filters, I suppose. And that's where, hey, so which things do you which do you like shipping more? Art or pottery? Which things does your audience like purchasing more? Of the things that you make, you know what I mean? Like insert other filters, and then it'll be like, okay, this is what. Or and sometimes it can be a ratio, right? So like we talked about before, like tiers of stuff, and so we may have, and this is good for like price points for like any handmade people, especially, but for resale too, especially if we're like curated like vintage finds and stuff. Having some top tier items, some like bread and butter stuff, and then some like entry level products that are like lower price points or easier to get. Um, they can be like different things, like why not, and so you can say like, hey, my original art, that's top tier, I'll sell you all this other stuff here, but like if you want that original painting, that 4x4, like you get pay up for that bad boy, but I'll give you all this other stuff, you know what I mean? So but it's gonna sit there and you're just gonna look at it. So something like that. Becca, how you doing? Becca, I think I saw, were you doing a chat show earlier? Because I think I saw you, and then I went to click in and it said show was over, and I was like, what? I'm mad I missed that. I'm mad I missed that. I like your chats, Becca. They are good stuff. It's like a singer with a range, but you need a tenor. There you go. It's just because I'm forced to do a lot of things at work, which is fair. You guys, if you haven't seen Vinyl's pottery, I know some know her for the records, vinyl records. Some know her for art, and then she's got pottery too. She's a pottery teacher, actually. Fun fact. And I've been excited. I've been looking forward to this pottery coming into the equation there. It's my bias, selfish reasons because I love it. But oh, was it? Dang, I'm sad. I'm extra sad. I missed it then. I'm extra sad. Leaning in towards the music related art, tied in with the vinyl selling. We should brainstorm sometime. I would love to 69 420. Nice name. Welcome in. I would like to brainstorm sometime. It wouldn't have to be in here. It could be in like anybody's room, but just be a part of the conversation. If there's ever like a brainstorm sesh that's just like, hey, different makers and artists being like, hey, I sell this. what's my resale equivalent? Like what's my on brand or not, but like probably more of the brainstorm session would be like, what's my on brand equivalent, right? I would love to hear all the ideas for that because I think because vinyl with the music thing, like she found it. She found it. It's not it's not that easy though. It's not that easy for a lot of things. Like I know that there's some sewists who sell fabric. That's a natural fit, right? There's I guess there's some. There's jewelry makers that sell beads and jewelry supplies. Like that's a natural fit. You should see the watercolors that she had. Oh, vinyls. Ooh, I teach dig art, dig photos, and pottery. I don't even know what dig art is, but that sounds fun. I have friends who run different types of shows on different day. Oh yeah, fair game. And as long as it's like organized, then I think it is easy to remember. So like there's a number of sellers who do community shows, for instance, be them demo or seller support. And then they also um fully retained for their selling shows. It's just like different people tap into the different ones, but it like goes together just fine. um well, shoot, Tiny the artist, storage units, and then art and other ones, which you guys, by the way, you didn't do your shitty pet portraits yet, did you? I better not have missed that. She's gonna be doing shitty pet portraits like all day. um for now I'm not gonna remember. Is it 16K followers or something, like a big follower mark? And so she does like a live stream for the number of hours as many of the followers that she has, threshold that she's got to. And so she's good, and she does something creative each time. And so she's doing, I think it's like 16 or so hours worth of shitty pet portraits, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm just saying. If you guys haven't seen that, I would tune in. Tying your art to another reselling area is smart because your art isn't moving other stuff. Can, yes. And, ideally, I guess we can brainstorm this for just a second. Ideally, there is whatever the resell stuff is, it's like fishing customers for your art, right? Like that would be a natural, like that would be a good strategy, right? To be like, okay, well, if I sell this, these folks, there's some crossover with who's interested in that and who's interested in this stuff. And so maybe that, right? So like it wouldn't make sense for maybe like this. If someone does altered Pokemon cards, right? Like Barbara Florentine does altered Pokemon cards, maybe selling Pokemon cards would be a natural like complementary resell item. But maybe Pokemon people would be like, "How dare you?" So I don't know. But I feel like there's maybe, I feel like someone should make a list now. Like there's got to be like a complementary resell niche to go with each product that would kind of overlap audience or something like that. That's working for me a little bit with crossover. Okay, so some of us are starting to figure out. That's encouraging, actually. That's really going to try music related ACEOs in vinyl tonight. That's what's up. That is what's up. My thing's about to die. Okay. You guys, we made it. We made it. It always like kind of throws me off when we're actually like on time. I know some of you guys probably remember when I would be like going on for 3 hours. I'm like, I don't know how I'm talking this long. But we got kids home for the summer. Thank you for the share. And so we're gonna try to be like more clock in, clock in. Are there any questions or any shares or any extra factors, right? So I keep notes for these topics, and then when there's like feedback, like extra, things I hadn't thought of that should be in the list and stuff, I add it to there so that the next time we discuss, it's like a more complete um resource and conversation of like trying to cover all the bases. And so if there's you know love math niche, that's how I'm putting it. But if there's stuff that like helps you guys decide what it is to sell, like major things that you guys use as a filter for deciding, please let me know. Please let me know. Otherwise, what do you guys have coming up? Do let me know what you guys have coming up. I will tell you, I only have like three upcoming events on my list, and so please feel free to share thy shows. I mean, I think kids clothes are a good niche. I'm not in clothing, to be fair. I do know that like the chat shows of the clothing folks double down on, they're very it seems like there's preference to brands. And so I don't really know my brands, but if the kids clothes, if they were like if there's like certain brands for kids clothes, I'm old and I don't pay attention. So I have to think of like Oshkosh or like his bamboo one or something like that. If there's brands associated, I would even I would even include that for like these type of kids clothes, or if it's a specific age maybe, or if it's a certain, trying to think how I would shop for kids clothes. Um Possibly, yeah, age, possibly gender, I suppose, even though that's more like today. Um Gender neutral kids clothes, that would be a niche, I would think. Age and gender neutral, I would think that would be a solid niche. And then maybe style, right? Maybe style. So there's like kids up here in Seattle are like rainbows and tie-dye, flower children type. You might go to the east side of the mountains and it's like camo, and the more like the kids in like Carhartts and work boots and stuff. Boho is a vibe. Yeah. So maybe if there's like a, style, if you're like, I want my kid to be like that, or if there's some people want kids like formal stuff, I suppose, for like the weddings and the cutesy stuff or the photos and stuff. That might be a thing. Kids have all kinds of like dress up stuff for Halloween. That could be a thing. Um, what else? I like a good brainstorm sesh. Kids, maybe curated shows, kids matching outfits. Um, Dresses specifically, like shoes, I don't know. So there's probably niches within it. I would explore the niches within it. Yeah. um God, I'm really trying to think of how I'd shop for my kid. Even just the basics would be a niche. Like, just give me some onesies. I just had a kid. I don't want all the I just need the onesies, the play clothes. You know what I mean? Like, give it to me secondhand. I don't care. I just want my kids to be able to run outside and play in the dirt, and I ain't got to worry about it. Like, I just need some clothes. That could be a niche in itself too. So, anything parents are googling, I just need this. Like, news. I know a soon to be seller that is going to sell goth type kids clothes. Right. So if you're like in the market for that, you'd be like, thank God. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Just I'll spend 2 hours in here. Show me your whole rack. You know what I mean? If that's what you're looking for, tie dye kids clothes, that could be a thing. Um, yeah, kids can have vibes for sure. Bent Mandrell, please do. What do you got coming up? What do you got coming up? Two Gent Gals Vintage Variety Show tonight, 6:30 Eastern Central Time. Butter Pats, creamers, fairy lamps, and more. Loading the bin and shop now. So pre-bids are open in a minute here. Heck yeah. Tara, welcome in. Kimmy D. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. I meant to write that down. The Fantastical Art Ray Train, you guys. The 31st, this is a Tasha LeRae train. Good for you for getting in on that. Kimmy D. Tasha is amazing. If anyone doesn't know Tasha LeRae, um, that's also a mandatory follow. You guys, we're just going to throw out mandatory follows each show. Tasha LeRae is a mandatory follow. This is the what, second or third time she's done this train, so it's a reoccurring one. I know it's on Raid Train app, raidtrain.app. Um, Everything she touches is gold. Like, she's amazing, and so hosts can be a reflection of like the what to expect from like the lineups and stuff, and that's going to be an awesome That's going to be an awesome train. So don't miss that. But also, if you're a maker, maybe consider applying for it next time. So go follow her. You can favor hosts on Raid Train app, and you'll get notified when the new trains come out. And so the Fantastical Art Raid Train, that's going to be a good one. I got a case pack of DSG with Nike and Jordan. That's what's up. Yeah, blast those and then leverage those keywords 100%. Do you do most of your wood burning work live on here? A good chunk of it. A good chunk of it. I'm trying to um get it in on Fridays and that's another thing, market day, handmade market Fridays. That's the live demo day. Sometimes I'll do it here and there outside of that, but like Mondays, sometimes there's some demo trains and stuff, but most of the time it's Fridays for those. The ACEO mini masterpieces Raid Train. Better say hi to Bees. She's helping me get the jewelry stuff together because she's got some stuff on Amazon she wants to buy, and so she's like, "What can I do? Earn this here money?" And I was like, "Well, we got a lot of these beads here, so she's gonna help sort them out so we can destash them." Let's see. Let me scroll back down. Trying out my first vintage show. That's what's up. Hey, all the pre-listed items. Ooh, I bet you. Hey, I'm gonna come in there. Let me go. Hold on. Let me open this up so I can go. Let me go bookmark that show right quick because I suspect that whole vibe. The Archivist. How's it going? I was just catching up, scrolling up and then down. Give me 1 second. Keep sharing your shows. I got a bookmark. Where'd you go? Right there. Lost Mermaid is selling vintage. You guys, hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Anyone, this is what she does. Oh, you can't see. She steals my candy that goes in the packages, the Mentos and the Gingers.
I don't see them
just dipping out of the stash. When people start in with their vintage stuff, you got to go get in those first shows because that's all the good stuff. I'm just saying, I did learn that. And so, let's see, bookmark and mid-century vintage liquidation 725. Boom. That's exciting. That is exciting. Okay. Bent Mandrell has 710. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Eastern time, party like it's 1776. That's what's up. With the Resonators tonight, starting with Jennifer New. Heck yeah. At 3:00. Oh, that's so close but so far away. Oh, Eastern time though. So okay. Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot, I'm off tonight, so I can still make that. Heck yeah. D, great show earlier, by the way. I was in most of that collabs with Height Normal Designs. That's what's up. Yes, Tasha Leray, mandatory follow. All the good vibes. She creates the vibe. You know what I mean? She creates the vibe. Natural State of High Taco Tuesday is tonight. Come hang out and BS. Do you have a new taco spot? Do you have a new taco spot? I know you're trying to like hit each of the different places in your locale or revisiting. You made me want a banana split too. Whenever you went, there's like one place that you went to is like hella windy, and you're like, I'm getting this banana split though. I was like, dude, I bet that hits the spot right now. I was kind of jealous. The Serial Hobbyist Monday AM live mini drawings. I love that so much. And then Thursday evening, vintage and 3D printed. So you have like a whole, okay. And then Friday, live ACEO paintings. That's what's up. Dabble with all the things. Bent Mandrell said, hi, hello, tiny human. Mason, so much to see. Big question is, how do you keep from the FOMO? I don't even know. Hey, you guys, Lost Mermaid Gifts is hosting on Raid Train app as well. So make sure you follow her, and then you get notified when she drops new Raid Trains. Who all's on there as far as handmade? Tasha Ray, Lost Mermaid Gifts, Lilac Bloom, I'm on there. Uh, there's one CF Flow something has like a bunch of maker stuff. There's some arts and handmade hosts like they're going over there. And so it's real easy to go sign up for the things. So make sure you have a look see. The hosts are, it's like if you build it, they will come. Let's see. Teach the people how you hold and eat a taco, please. Hmm. I don't know if I should ask. I don't know if I should ask. Um, good, good. These smart. Yeah, it's a smart kiddo. What Liz likes. How you doing? What Liz likes. I'm patiently waiting the lemon soap. I'm just saying. I finally got through the whole thing. It lasted forever. Made me super happy. And now every time I go to my kitchen sink, I'm like, it's not the same. It's not the same. The experience is not the same. Um, let's see. Get it while the getting's good. I'm telling you. So new vintage with Lost Mermaid. I'm just saying. You don't want to miss that. You do not. And then 3 or 4. Okay. Well, that's still dope. That's still dope. Think you found a new taco spot. That's what's up. And then also mini masterpieces ACEO rate train this Saturday, as well as oh, thank you for that. Retro Alley, the Fellowship of Fan Art is this Friday. Very good. That's gosh, she's been hosting raid trains for the longest, like 2 years, I want to say, probably since raid trains became a thing. And that's like one of her anchor ones. And I think she's still doing Monsters Are My Muse. Fantastic raid train host. Oh, and that reminds me too. Her Artisans Attack went over to, she passed the torch to the Magpies cupboard, and they're doing like a bi-monthly, but that's like our artisan battle train. And the next one is August 28th. August 28th. That's on my bucket list. That's one of those trains, these battle trains. I think everyone should just put it on their bucket list. Just go do it one time. Any of the handmade trains, really. Why not? You don't know who you make meet and stuff. Simply Smart Shop and said, "Hey, kiddo." Um, and so, Artisans Attack with the Magpies cover. If anybody's interested in that one, that was originally Retro Alley's baby. Bent Mandrell, 5:30 Eastern for the resin. Okay, 5:30 Eastern. So, so in 12 minutes, right? 2:30. Uh, well, shoot, maybe we'll just straight into there. PSEN, how you doing? You guys, please give a follow to PSEN Creations right there. This is one of our papercraft artisans that was in the train yesterday. Also screenshot the ones who are just coming in, screenshot, and please do follow. They're all linked. All the makers tagged in the show notes. I'm telling you, phenomenal. And I was thinking yesterday, I was like, you guys win for community. And then I was like, that ain't even the right word. And for those who didn't hear it earlier, uh the paper crafters, each niche like blows my mind in some kind of way, because they really are like different. They're all different. All the different like alleys, right? The paper crafters are the ones who like go super hard into their craft. Like that's where they win. Every embellishment possible, they're like, I'm doing it. They are like the hold my beer, one more thing on here, just the most like intricate creations, hands down of all the other crafts, and that's one of them. And so please check out their stuff. If you haven't visited, it blew my mind. Spending time with the paper crafters this last like month or two, I've been in their shows and I was just like learning stuff. There was even wax like that you do wax seals with, but putting them into like resin molds and then like embellishing papers with those. I was like, what? With paint and everything. It was just like it was a whole thing. Super impressive. Dee says hello. Dee said hello. Eating a taco like a sip. Wait, like hard taco? Soft taco. Hard taco, like from the middle? Zodi. Tell me you didn't do that. Tell me you didn't eat the taco like a psycho and just go straight for the middle, okay? You can slap it out of you. Don't you ever disrespect. No, I'm just kidding. Artists, battle gladiators in here. Loves you. A. It's the good stuff. It is good stuff. Here, let me let's see. Clearly, clearly. What else do we got? Okay, last thing I have to share. If you guys have more stuff, please do keep sharing it if there's any questions. The last thing I have to share is, has your kiddo started turn? Oh, you know what? Thank you. Did I? She's like, oh, excuse me. There's a question
It's
there for
been there
me.
forever.
My eyes just like skip around the anyway. She has made stuff. Actually, she's done her own heat gun art. And pretty freaking good at it too. Pretty freaking good at it. I'll do like the torch, like the flame part, but she'll do like the vinyl and the torch paste and the whole, she'll do like the whole process except for the open flame, which she probably could do now. She probably could do now. She's 10 now. So yeah, and she's pretty good. Haven't got the older one to do it yet. I don't well, nah, she made one thing.
She did.
Your sister did. Yeah, that hanging in your dad's car. She made that one. But yeah, but that's about it. You guys, huh?
The truck.
Yeah, it's like it's the with the German Shepherd.
Oh,
Have you
shit.
seen that? Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys. The last share that I had was the August Artisan Alley is we're doing it's National Thrift Shop Day. That train lands on National Thrift Shop Day, and so we're doing the Thrift Shop Artist Series, the art series cards, Lilac Luminite. And so if anybody has those, that sign up is it's created and it's private and it's going to go live. I'm just waiting for a response from someone, and it's going to go live in the next couple days. And that's going to be a cool showcase to show like the art and your card. So if anyone is on the fence about getting an art card, there's your sign to get it sooner than later. And I'm going to show you guys this because I did get a thrift shop card in. I did get my first card in, but there's a caveat with it because I have to alter them. I have to alter them. I'm trying to think of how I can even show this. I'm trying to think of how I can even show this because you guys saw a version of it in my new thumbnails for my chat shows, but it's not. I'll use this, do it like this. You saw a version of it in my chat shows, but this one looks a little bit different. And so we finally, well, you can pretty much see it. We finally got these little trading cards. We're official. But I have to alter them because there's original art up here that I didn't even think about, like ain't supposed to be in these. And so make lemonade every time, right? And so I got a sticker maker coming, and we're gonna do a fun thing for whoever ends up getting these. There's gonna be some, if I can get the sticker thing to work out correctly, there's gonna be some customized stuff up here on the wall behind me. And so they're gonna be kind of fun. Tiny the artist, if you're in here still, your trading cards with like you had the little canvas thing on there was part of the inspiration for like how to even, I was like, I don't know what to do with these now. I might have to throw them away and stuff. And then, but no, figured a way to make lemonade out of it. And shout out to Simply Smart Shopping for gifting these to bring me into the club. And then we also have the original, the first original is on an art card that's coming also. And so excited about that and excited about that. And those are coming soon. So you guys, we have 6 minutes until the raid train starts.
There's another.
There's like a yeah, this isn't a raid train, this is just a chat, but there is one coming. So so what else do you guys have on your mind? What else are you seeing out there? I think we talked about updates and all the other stuff, but it'd be cool to support. And Bent Mandrell, if you're in here still, who was the opener again for that train? Or I could scroll. Oh, I see it. Here, let me write this down. Right here. 5, 4, 4, 2, 3 is on in 5 minutes. And so you can use gesso and paint on them. I don't know what gesso is, but I could look it up. It's not a pen. Gesso and paint. Probably could paint something. I'm not a painter. That's one thing. I thought about trying to draw, but I would still need something else. Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna see because I have an idea of like a turning. I got a sticker maker that you can upload photos and it'll like take the background off and insert them in there. And so I think I can just like the uh mock the personalized art to kind of. Oh, I gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, I had no idea. So thank you. I wrote it down. I was going to Google it after the show. This is a learning. This is an educational show. Okay, I appreciate that. So, what else do you guys got? We got 4 minutes to discuss any of the things. Is anybody in Battle of the Best? Any hand makers? I think I saw Wild Hope in there. And I feel like I saw one other artist in there, but it was pretty slim pickings, I thought. And but what else is there? I don't know, because the only thing I really have is just that we're destashing this stuff. Truly, there's literally hundreds. $1 starts and just bundling. And so, welcome in, Cam. Just bundling. And so there's that, and then there's Battle of the Best Sunday, and then we're going to try to keep like an art thing going. And so ideally Friday, if we can stay on track with it, each Friday will be demoing the next like original art piece. I think we're going to I think that's where the anchor is going to land, and then like pop sockets for the other stuff, which actually.
Should I show them some of the stuff?
Can you hand me these pop sockets right there? Can show those, and then just the ones right on the front edge there. Those two sitting on top of the thing. That's about it. If anyone missed these, yeah, just these two. If anyone missed these didn't sell yesterday. I'm going to put them in the shop, but if anyone hadn't seen them, and I encourage anyone to dabble with these if you haven't yet, if you're a maker. These are like my paper craft for the alley train yesterday, but they're resin coated and NFC tagged pop sockets. Super fun. You can scan through anything that's not metal, and so there's like wood ones too. So if you're like a paper crafter, I'm sure there's like fabric-y options for these. Or if you are a clay worker, or leather would probably like anything you can glue on to these really. I feel like I want to see more people doing these. Maybe QR codes and that kind of stuff too, but I think these are fantastic. And this is super bougie like pendant that I got from Naked Maple a little while back. So it's got the little thing, and I figure a charm can go on there, but like NFC tags scan through all those things, fun fact. And so that's share worthy, and I think that's what I got. And so let me see if Homegirl is on, so we can just say hello to our resin friends. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Rochelle's doing a booster raid, so let's go there. You guys, big thank you for coming in here, hanging out with me on these Tuesdays. Thanks for chewing on the topics with me. Super appreciate you guys. We're gonna go to Rochelle. One of my faves. I freaking love her energy. I love her community. I love everything about her. She's a fantastic artisan. She hosts all kinds of events and just supporting everybody. So it looks like she's riding into this train that Bent Mandrell is on in a little bit. So he's a woodworker. He makes pens, but he also dabbles with resin. And if interested in that, hang tight a second. If not, that's okay. Now's the time to hop off. And if you haven't met Rochelle, I do recommend like hanging out for just a couple minutes to get to know her because she's fantastic. But otherwise, you guys, de-stashing some stuff tomorrow, so maybe see you then. Otherwise, Friday for some heat gun art. And then next Tuesday, if I don't see you before that. So, or no, Battle of the Best is Sunday. So there we go. There we go. Oh, was that a name change? Either way, thanks for that reminder because I need to go check out their shop. So in case I hadn't, I feel like there's some that I'll probably look at it and I'll be like, oh, okay, I recognize these. Put that on there. Okay. All right, you guys. If you're so inclined, purple hearts in the chat when we get there. And I love you guys. See you on the flip side. Oh, so start auction. Hold on. Why? Why? What are raid? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Create a raid. See if it'll let me double it up. Okay, I'm gonna hurry before it does something different. I love you. Bye.